What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. This is the fourth episode of the Ultimate Sideman. I would like to thank all our new subscribers and those who've been supporting all throughout, and those who've been requesting for more episodes to come faster. I'll do the best I can, but I truly appreciate everybody. Let's get started. Today, I would like to talk about gigs.
What else is there to talk about gigs?
I want to talk about from the standpoint of growing the number of gigs that you have so you can make more money, but more importantly, so you can grow in your career, maintaining the ones that you also have. So it's really simple, but very necessary. So I'll give you a couple of tips based on what I do, and I'm going to use some of my recent gigs, especially 2 gigs that I'm thinking help me demonstrate how I got those gigs and what it took and what it meant to me, and whether I've done my job properly, whether I can actually potentially get more gigs. To set the mood for us, I would like to use one of the songs that we played, a very classic, common song, Let's Stay Together by Al Green. Here we go. That gig was in North Dakota, Devonport, and I got it through the lead singer and horn player, Michael Cartwright. The way we connected was we both were on a gig, a different gig that we both were subbing, and this is a band from New York, but we were playing way out in the Caribbean. Really amazing, beautiful place. But that's where we met, and we both did our thing, represented, good hang, exchanged numbers. A couple of months ago, he hit me up, and he has, this gig that he could use me on. And we threw some numbers and made it all work. So that was the gig he set up. Nice group of musicians from Bismarck. That was Michael Land on keys, on guitar. My man Richard Torrance, an amazing guitar player. And on drums, Jim Anderson. Beautiful, beautiful, amazing, great pocket, classic feel. So it was a really fun gig. These guys were really nice and very well accommodating and easy to work with. Mind you, this is the kind of gig that you show up, do a quick sound check, and play. There's no time to rehearse or talk about stuff. So that's one of those gigs that you have to be professional, know what you're supposed to do. So, and it was a lot of fun. How does this fit into the subject that we're talking about, gigs? To successfully do gigs and maintain, get more gigs, there is a few things that we have to address. And I have few quotes that I really like to share. Sometimes they just help me myself to solidify some of my principles, philosophies about life and work, everything that I'm, doing. So one of my first quotes is, every gig gets or cancels another gig. Every gig gets or cancels another gig. In other words, a gig begets a gig. Every opportunity to play can bring another opportunity, or it should, as a matter of fact. There's not such a thing as a one-off, because for every gig that you do, there's someone watching, someone that's working with you, that's taking a note of how great you are or how well you're doing your job, and they want to refer you, they want to use you. So that's pretty much what we're talking about. So there's a few things that we have to consider, and that has helped me. So the first step to developing your gigs is information. This is about getting information about the gig, whether it is the date, the place, the time, attire, the sound check, and most importantly, the music. It's very crucial to get this information, have it where you can easily access it. If you miss some of this crucial information, it could sabotage your gig. Band leaders, the good ones, the ones that are organized, they work so hard putting this information and sending it out. So it's a big diss if you didn't even bother to look at it, right? Especially if you're new to the band, if you're working with the band for the first time, first few times, you need to make sure that the communication is good. So acknowledge when you get this information. Let the band leader, whoever sent it to you, that you got it. Give them a thumbs up. That goes a long way because they will feel relief. Usually band leaders are stressed, so anything could help to lower the temperature. Second tip is obvious one, is the material that you got to learn. We have talked in details about knowing a song in at least 3 different levels. Check the 3rd episode for that one if you like. It's very important that you know the songs that you're responsible for the event. Get the right versions. Sometimes in this day, people send links to specific versions, so don't just go by the version that you're thinking. There has been situations where I was learning a different version than what the band leader wanted me to learn. If you mess up anything and you showed up musically and did everything right, you still have a chance to maintain that gig. But if you messed up the music, if you didn't learn what you're supposed to learn, no matter how early you get there, no matter how well you cover all aspects, if the music didn't count, that means that's a failed gig in my opinion. So you're less likely to get a call back. Do your homework if you can ahead of time. Don't wait until a day, 2 days before the gig, because you would never know how much time you may need to learn the material. So put the work ahead on the front end so you have a little easier time. Or if there's additional stuff that may be thrown at you last minute, you still have time to manage those things. So do your work as early as you can. The third but not least is how well you represent yourself. This is a little bit tricky. A lot of people don't pay attention to this, but it really definitely makes a lot of difference in your opportunity, in your prospects getting the gig or getting called back or being referred to. It has to do pretty much everything about you outside of the music. That means your personality, your punctuality, how organized you are, how easy it is to work with you. Just about every gig, there's downtimes, whether it is set breaks, travel. You might need to share a room with another band member. There's a lot of opportunity to get to know you. So how pleasant is that experience? How well you represent yourself? You don't have to be somebody that you're not or somebody that you cannot keep up. So you don't have to fake, but bring the best of who you are. Leave all problems, everything at home if you can. That way it doesn't affect your gig, because especially when people meet you for the first time, that is the person they would most likely remember for the rest of your life. It would set the tone about who you are. This is very important. If you're sharing a room, how your hygiene, how well you clean after yourself, how courteous you are, all these things are very important, because some band members, or a lot of bands as a matter of fact, they just want to have a good time. Sometimes they even go with a person that's easy to work with than the person that may be more talented. How easy is it to correct you? A lot of us musicians come with some experience, right? And we know our material, we know our songs. They try to correct us. Don't be too stubborn. You may be right, but there's always a way that a band has been doing things. So try to confirm to them than confront them. So make it easy, flow with you much easier without being nervous about telling you how to do things. A fun guy always is easy to call back. So this second gig that I'm about to talk about actually involved all three things: information about learning your material, representing yourself. This gig came through a drummer, Steve Jennings, an amazing drummer and educator. Him and one of the guitar players, Joe Elliott, were professors at McNally College of Music that was big here in the Twin Cities. Steve, hit me up about this gig, sent me the material, took the information, right, had all the rehearsal dates and the gig information. But the music, the second part, I sort of underestimated. This is where, remember I told you to get as early as you can. This is one of those learning situations in a hard way. I gave it only a couple of days before the first rehearsal. First rehearsal was about a week before the gig. Second rehearsal was, I think, a couple of days before the gig. So this band called Jambalaya, tribute to this other band named Little Feat from the late 60s and 70s. An amazing band that I have discovered through this gig. Please check out Little Feat. These are pros. So when you're playing it, people that could be your teachers and well experienced group of people, that's where you have to really bring your A game. So it was one of those things that I had to represent myself, be polite, be easy to work with, appreciate all the good things that you see, and it ended up being a good gig. And after the gig, usually once you do a gig to the best of your ability, you've applied all those things and more as you see it fit. Usually after the gig, you would get an email from one or more band members letting you know how well you did. In this case, both the gigs from North Dakota and Wisconsin, they send me really kind emails telling me how they enjoyed playing with me, working with me, and how they look forward for more opportunities. That's how you know you did somehow a good job. So that is our time for today. I'm going to send you out with a couple of clips from this great band. You should check it out. Cheers. Continue to subscribe, continue to support, and help to give you more entertainment, education, however you see it. Appreciate it. Peace.